Uh, Good afternoon. So your team obviously being up 2-0 right now in this series, how do you guard against being overly confident or sensing a letdown, given that the Warriors play well at home, but you guys play well on the road as well?
You can talk about it, of course, but if we're overconfident, we're going to get our behinds handed to us, because these guys are champions. They're multiple-time champions, and they faced all types of adversity and situations, and so we just got to go out and play the game as best we can for 48 minutes and hope to get a win on their floor.
Mike, congratulations on being Coach of the Year. I was wondering if you got some new Gucci shoes to celebrate.
I'm gonna do this, even though I don't have a deal with them. But
Vans.
You like your real brand new.
That's where it's at. You're right about that. It's a lot easier for me. So I've been rocking the Vans. They just sent me a box full of Vans, so I appreciate the Vans. A little shout out. That's all I'm sticking with right now. My Vans, Steve tried to call me out the other day. My Van's still cleaner than his. He wear Vans from 6-7 years ago. As soon as I get his stuff, I got a new pair on.
I don't know how to follow that conversation with a question. I don't know how much football you watch, but this situation reminds me of when John Gruden left the Raiders, went to Tampa Bay. They play each other in the Super Bowl, and Gruden knows everything that's going to happen that the Raiders are going to do. Your 6 years here, how much of an advantage does that give you, knowing the way the Warriors think and act?
People have been saying that, and man, I don't think it does. They know everything about us. They have a really, really great advanced scout. Scotty, he's one of the best in the league. He's been with them forever. There's staff is championship level, obviously coaching staff. I mean, their players are championship level players, are smart as all get up. They know my tendencies too, and so I know they're trying to put a game plan together to beat us, and we are to beat them. And it's about, can we go out there and execute it for 48 minutes? Can they go out there and execute it for 48 minutes? I think it's more that than anything else. And I've told our guys, before the playoffs even began, and we didn't know who we were playing, I've been telling our guys all year, come playoff time, everybody knows everything about their opponent. And so you have to go out there and you got to execute it closer to 48 minutes than your opponent does. And that's going to give you a chance if you do that.
Mike, back here. In game one, you used De'Aaron Fox against Steph for a huge amount of time. In game two, you switched up and used Davion Mitchell. What is it that you're seeing there, and how do you like the way that Davion's responded to the challenge?
Well, it's tough because they do a good job of moving Steph around and trying to put him on guys that aren't going to be involved in a lot of pick and rolls or coming off a lot of screens and stuff like that. So defensively, the effort that he has to give all the time isn't quite the same as when somebody's got to guard him, and then that same somebody has to score and make plays for their team. And so, as much as we can, we're gonna put Fox on somebody else. We're gonna give Davion an opportunity to guard him. We're gonna junk up the game as best we can to try to make them think and work. I mean, it's none of it really quote unquote works. You just hope that he has to try a little bit harder to make shots when you throw different things at him and different people. And for a young fella, Davion is doing about as good a job as you can ask him or anybody to do. And the crazy part about it is Steph still had 28, I think, in the last game. So you don't stop Hall of Famers like Steph. You just hope you can make them work a little bit and think a little bit about changing things up.
Hi, Mike. Two things, please. Just Sabonis is listed as questionable. Will he play?
Yeah, he practiced yesterday, and so I'm assuming, I haven't talked to anybody, but I'm assuming he'll play.
And then second, you know Draymond Green really well. And in the suspension announcement from the league, it said one of the factors was his history of unsportsmanlike conduct. What do you think about that history? And was that a fair thing to tack on?
But you gotta talk to the league about that. We just here to play a game tonight. I have no idea what they're thinking or what's behind it, so you'd have to ask the league that question.
Mike, I think you said yesterday that you had expected the Warriors to play zone in this game, likely partly affected not having Draymond. Was some of that too, thinking they might go offense, they might push the button a little, Warriors might go harder with the offensive side in this game?
Yeah, you know, again, you sit back and try to guess and shoot 3/4 of the guesses that you make are wrong. But, you know, offensively, we feel they're gonna probably play Jordan Poole, Wiggs, Clay, and Steph, and Loon, and then whoever else will play that fifth spot. Gary Payton may play that spot some. Just try to play fast as heck, get shots up, and you know, Steve is a guy that's a great motivator, and he's not afraid to think outside the box, and he'll tell those guys to let it fly, let it run, and turn into a track meet out there. You know, so. We did talk about that, but you know, the biggest thing for us defensively is us thinking that they're going to play a lot of zone, and you know, if they do, great. If they don't, that's fine too. We feel like we're prepared to go against or attack either one, you know, but the game still has to go be played.
Mike, back here. Steve just said that every playoff game takes on a complete life of its own. How does that work in the benefit of someone like Keegan, who has had 2 games now to kind of get used to it, but hasn't really had his impact in the way that you know he's capable of being impactful?
You know, it's a fresh restart for him. You know, he's a pretty confident young man, and I feel like he truly believes in his abilities. And you know, anytime you have a tough outing, you can't wait to get back out there again. You're chomping at the bits, and you know that it's a clean slate when that jump ball goes up. So Steve is right about that, you know, for not just individuals, but for everybody that's involved, you know, and to win 4 games in any series is extremely hard, let alone the NBA champions. And so you never feel out of it when you think of it that way, and most good teams do.
Mike, you've been here for a few playoff games. How much of a challenge do you anticipate it'll be tonight to play in this building with Warriors fans?
Oh man, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a dogfight. You know, the fans here are fantastic. The team's going to feed off the energy of the fans. They're going to feed off of they're going to rally behind Draymond, like which they should. You know, it's going to be a great atmosphere out there, and it's going to be tough as nails to try to get a win.
Harrison Barnes, coach. At the beginning of the season, you know, when the Kings were down 0-4, he was struggling a little bit. Then he started to pick it up. Now he's in the playoffs. He seemed like that fourth quarter is where he's really ready to go and hit a couple big shots, maybe get a rebound here. Just wanted, you know, to get your thoughts about his play overall, you know, during the season and going into the playoffs. And he seems like he's playing with poise and trying to get his teammates to do the same thing.
Oh, you're right. He's our vet. You know, he and Delly, they've experienced things that nobody else on the team has before, and their leadership is off the charts. And you know, we need it because our younger leaders are growing and learning every day, but they're not quite at the levels that those 2 guys are because they haven't been through it like them. So he's of the utmost importance to us, not just on the floor, not just late in ball games, not just in big ball games, but even off the floor. And as we go about our daily, you know, routines, you know, to watch him handle his routine and that type of stuff is extremely beneficial for all of us, especially including our young guys. So Yeah, I truly believe he's irreplaceable, you know, because of the things that he brings off the floor as well as on the floor and in his championship pedigree. And, you know, we lean on him for a lot. We will continue going forward.
When you say irreplaceable, should the Kings bring him back next season?
That's to me, I'm not trying to be funny, but that's what irreplaceable means. You know, you can't replace him. You know, having said that, you know, that's Monty and Wes's area, and you know, I'm sure there's something for or value for everybody, including me. You know, there's nobody at the end of the day that's going to be forever and ever in this league and with this organization. But HB definitely is a guy that has been a big part of what we got going here, and I hope he's a big part of what our future looks like.
Yeah. You guys were not a overwhelming offensive rebounding team in the regular season, but you have been in the series. What's just kind of gone right in that category?
That's a great question. You know, we emphasized it, and we have what we call crash zones. And for us, and what our crash zones are, our crash zone rate during the regular season was pretty high. We just weren't getting our hands on a lot of balls, and you know, sometimes it's a luck of the bounce, and sometimes it's, you know, really locking in to amp up your aggression. And you know, if you at least go and now you try to lock in a little bit more, you may obviously get your hands on a few balls. And so I'm thinking that's probably what it is.
Mike, one of the things going into this series, one of the narratives was that the Warriors had the experience and you guys were relatively new at this. First two games, though, there really hasn't been much of a sign of you guys' inexperience. What do you credit that to, and the fact that you guys have been so poised and so effective down the stretch of these games?
You know, but it's true, and that they have a huge thing. Again, I said it 100 times, but they're champions, and they have a huge advantage when it comes to tough moments and big games and all that other stuff, because they've been through it. But you got to give our guys a lot of credit. We can only tell them what to expect. But as you guys know, it doesn't. You can equate it to other things in life. Your parents can tell you one thing when you're younger, but you got to go through it sometimes to really understand, and not just go through it once, but go through it 3-4 times, if not more, to really understand or comprehend what it takes to get over the hump with whatever you're trying to accomplish. And so I give a lot of credit to our players first, and then also to my staff. I said it, you know, winning the Coach of the Year award, and I have a tremendous staff, man. They're real diverse. Got a lot of. They come from a lot of different backgrounds and experiences, and they're talking individually to these guys as well as collectively to these guys, and even guys like Bobby Jackson, who's been there, and Doug Christie, and Leandro Barbosa, and Lindsey Harding. You know, he played at a high level, and they've done a lot of things, and so they can really relate well to the experiences that the guys are going through out on that floor.
Mike, are you surprised that you haven't seen more Jonathan Kuminga in the series so far?
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how many minutes he's averaging. You know, so I couldn't tell you. I'm not really even thinking about that. So I don't know what they're thinking on that. Thank you, guys.